800 amazing facts in one video? Join Zarpado and let's find out. Do you know the glass frog? It is a species of frog from Ecuador with transparent skin. Adidas and Puma were founded by German brothers Adolf and Rudolf Dassler, respectively. Did you know who the youngest billionaire in the world is? Kylie Jenner was named by Forbes in 2019 as the youngest billionaire in the world, thanks to the success of her company, Kylie Cosmetics. Do you remember Audrey Hepburn's dress in Breakfast at Tiffany's? It was sold at auction in 2006 for more than $900,000. Whiskey is not the same as whiskey. Whiskey is distilled in Scotland like Johnny Walker, and whiskey is distilled in the United States like Jack Daniels. Zhangjiajie National Park in China inspired the landscapes of Avatar with its karst peaks and limestone columns, as if it were a place from another planet. Kangaroos have a powerful kick that they can use to defend themselves from predators like dingoes. In The Wizard of Oz, Bert Lahr, the Cowardly Lion, wore a real fursuit that weighed 99 pounds and had to perform under the hot lights of the set. Do you remember actress Beyoncé? In 2006, she starred in Dreamgirls and was nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. Do you know what the most endangered animal in the world is? It's the Javan rhinoceros, a mammal with fewer than 60 specimens in Indonesia and Vietnam. Salvador Dali starred in a commercial for Lin Van chocolates. It's a rare mammal with fewer than 60 specimens in Indonesia and Vietnam. The Borneo proboscis monkey could take the title of the ugliest animal in the world. Its enormous 18-centimeter nose makes it unmistakable. Conor McGregor, besides being a famous fighter, ventured into the world of whiskey with his own brand, Proper No. 12. Boxfish have eyes on the sides of their heads, giving them almost 360-degree vision. They are like spies of the underwater world. In Scotland, men wear kilts, and it is a traditional garment that gives them a unique touch of distinction and style for their traditional dances. Penelope Cruz, famous for her roles in films such as Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise, is actually Spanish. Arnold Schwarzenegger became the youngest bodybuilder to win Mr. Olympia in 1970 at just 23 years old. The Nightingale of Kuala Lumpur is the most expensive dress in the world and is worth $30 million. The most amazing thing is that it features 751 diamonds. Xie Qiuping, a Chinese woman, holds the Guinness record for the longest hair in the world, measuring over 18.37 feet in 2004. The jackfruit is the largest fruit in the world and can weigh up to 121 pounds. Harper's Bazaar is the oldest magazine in the world, founded in 1867 in the United States. A true pioneer of style, Scarlett Johansson has a twin brother named Hunter, and he is 3 minutes younger than her. In Antarctica, there is a waterfall of blood flowing from the Taylor Island Glacier. Do you know Muay Thai? It is a martial art from Thailand, nicknamed the Art of Eight Extremities, because fists, elbows, knees, and legs are used. The Danyang Kunshan Bridge in China is the longest in the world, at an impressive 164.8 kilometers long. The shooting stars we see in the sky are not stars, but meteors that burn up as they enter our atmosphere. Did you know that there is a green sand beach? Papacolia Beach in Hawaii is one of the few beaches in the world with green sand, thanks to volcanic minerals such as olivine. During the Apollo 14 mission in 1971, astronaut Alan Shepard made history by hitting 2 golf shots on the moon. In Sweden, the right to roam, or allemansrätten, allows anyone to roam and camp freely in the wilderness. And about 70% of the lightning that strikes the earth falls on the oceans. Around Kilimanjaro live the Chagas, an ethnic group from Tanzania, famous for their terraced farming on the slopes of the mountain and their coffee production. Barack Obama won a Grammy in 2006 for his audiobook, Dreams from My Father, taking home the award in the category of Best Spoken Album. St. Basil's Cathedral in Moscow, famous for its glowing domes, is shaped like a flame making it stand out in red square. The Isle of Man in the Irish Sea is famous for its dangerous motorcycle races on public roads, an event held since 1907. In Fight Club, Edward Norton actually punches Brad Pitt in the ear, and his shocked reaction is completely genuine. In black and white cinema, blood could be any color, and in the film Psycho, chocolate was used to simulate it. The Jerusalem artichoke, or tupinambo, is a tuberous root similar to the potato, but with a sweeter flavor and crunchy texture. Do you know Michel Lotito? This man is famous for eating metals. He even ingested a Cessna 150 plane. Before Mickey Mouse, Walt Disney's first animated character was Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. The Epson HX20, launched in 1981, was the first commercially successful laptop computer. During World War I, a bear named Wojtek was adopted by Polish soldiers and became the regiment's mascot, even helping to carry ammunition. The world's most expensive bottle of champagne, the Goutte de Diamant, has a diamond embedded in its design and costs around $1.5 million. In Norway, the famous troll road, Trollstigen, winds through the majestic mountains of Møre og Romsdal. Salt is the only mineral that is eaten directly. The rhinoceros beetle has the longest horn of any insect. Scarlett Johansson is the highest-grossing actress in film history, with her films grossing more than $15.5 billion by the end of 2024. Enzo Ferrari was a racing driver and sports director at Alfa Romeo before founding his own company, Auto Avio Costruzioni, which would become Ferrari. Dragonflies form a heart when mating, a truly amazing natural phenomenon. Vancouver Island in Canada is one of the few places in the world where Kermode bears can be found. In Iceland, the Hakarl dish is a challenge for the brave, fermented and decomposed shark. The flag of Denmark, created on June 15, 1219, is the oldest in continuous use. It is estimated that the average person spends 6 months of their life waiting at a red light. Bats are the only mammals that can sustain themselves in flight. Papua New Guinea is the country with the greatest linguistic diversity in the world, with over 850 different languages. In the Scottish Highlands in Loch Ness, a monster called Nessie is said to live, a mystery that has fascinated adventurers and the curious for centuries. Curious about the time when people are usually happiest? People are happiest at 7 p.m. The largest known egg comes from the Epiornis, an extinct bird from Madagascar, whose eggs could measure up to 30 centimeters long and 21 centimeters wide. Despite being known as the 100 Years' War between France and England, it lasted 116 years. Sable Island, in the Atlantic Ocean off Canada, is known for its elongated and mysterious shape, like a giant finger pointing to the horizon. In Japan, they grow square watermelons, an ingenious shape that makes them easier to pack and perfect for display in stores. The coligo, or Malaysian glider, is an arboreal mammal that flies between trees like an expert in aerobatics. The Goliath frog is the largest frog in the world, measuring an impressive 32 centimeters and weighing 7.27 pounds. The Chevrolet Corvette holds the title of the world's longest-running sports car, with continuous production since its launch in 1953. The main character of Toy Story, Buzz Lightyear, was named after Buzz Aldrin, the astronaut who was part of the Apollo 11 mission. The movie Titanic cost more to make than the ship itself. With a budget of $200 million, it surpassed the $7.5 million spent on the real Titanic in 1912. The axolotl, a species of salamander from Mexico, has an astonishing ability to regenerate limbs, legs, tails, and even parts of the brain and heart. In the canals of Xochimilco in Mexico, there is the island of dolls, an island full of dolls hanging in trees. Despite their name, koalas are not bears, but marsupials. They are more closely related to kangaroos and wombats than bears. The average waiting time until we fall asleep is 7 minutes. Most of the world's pandas are owned by China, and they inhabit dense bamboo forests in the mountains of the west of the country. Anteaters devour more than 35,000 ants a day, using their sharp claws to dig open rotten logs. You can finally play tennis with a robot. Meet Esther, the first human-scale training robot. The musk deer, native to North America, has long tusk-like upper teeth, giving it a wild edge. The church tower in Surhusen in Germany has a 5-degree tilt, making it the most tilted church tower in the world. Strawberries have more vitamin C than oranges. With 100 grams of each fruit, we get 58 milligrams of vitamin C with strawberry, while oranges provide about 53 milligrams in the same amount. Have you ever wondered who the character of Yoda from Star Wars is inspired by? The creators designed Yoda to look like Albert Einstein. Avocados have more protein than any other fruit. A whole avocado, weighing about 300 grams, contains about 6 grams of protein. Have you ever wondered how much NASA spends on space exploration? By 2024, its budget will exceed $27 billion. Eating 40 apple seeds could kill you, as they contain hydrocyanic acid in small amounts. This acid is poisonous and can be fatal in high doses. A male lion's mane is a sign of his health and strength. Females often prefer males with darker, fuller manes. Guatemala's Tikal National Park is home to the ruins of an ancient Mayan city that was an important political, economic, and religious center. The rhinoceros beetle is the world's strongest animal in proportion to its size, as it can carry up to 850 times its body weight. Jewel beetles, known for their brilliant metallic color, are incredible flyers and can be found in extreme habitats, from arid deserts to lush forests. The Chinese giant salamander, the world's largest amphibian, can grow up to 5.9 feet. It's like a dragon in the water. The Kola Super Deep well in Russia is the deepest man-made hole, reaching a staggering depth of 40,229 feet. There's a building called Instagram in Spain, famous for being the perfect photo spot, and it's said to have inspired the design of the Squid Game. The venom of the black widow spider is 15 times more potent than that of a rattlesnake. But don't worry, it only injects a fraction of the amount. The United States, Myanmar, and Liberia are the only countries that don't have the standard metric system of measurement. The South American electric catfish, also called bullfish, can generate shocks of up to 350 volts. During World War II, the Japanese created the kamikaze plane, designed to crash into enemy targets on suicide missions. French is the official language of more than 29 countries spreading across Africa, Luxembourg, Monaco, among others. The King Dakar roller coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure is an adrenaline beast, reaching 456 feet high and 128 miles per hour, the highest and fastest in the world. The crater of the Irazu volcano in Costa Rica is home to a green lake, whose surreal color is due to the high acidity of the water. The Australian bulldog ant has a bite so powerful it can split its prey in two. Hawaiian pizza, despite its name, was not invented in Hawaii but in Canada by a Greek immigrant. The Philippines is the only country in the world, along with the Vatican, where it is illegal to get a divorce. A hummingbird can weigh less than a US coin, with an average weight of 2.2 grams, while a US penny weighs about 2.5 grams. Jellyfish are 95% water. In India, the Ganges River is considered the most sacred, and bathing in its waters during festivals is believed to wash away sins. Do you know Kabuki theater? It is a form of traditional Japanese theater, famous for its elaborate makeup and vibrant costumes. The Prague astronomical clock, installed in 1410, is the oldest medieval clock in the world that is still working. The apple tree can produce up to 400 apples a year, Did you know what the space between the eyebrows is called? It's called the glabella. The Bedlington Terrier is considered the rarest dog breed in the world. Look how strange it is. There is an island called Big Major Cay in the Bahamas, famous for its population of pigs that venture into the water. The name of the band Pink Floyd was inspired by two blues musicians, Pink Anderson and Floyd Council. The first successful flight of a powered airplane was made by the Wright brothers on December 17, 1903 in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. The most expensive car in the world is the Bugatti La Voiture Noire, which sold for over $18.7 million in 2019. There is a very peculiar sport called chess boxing, where competitors play alternating rounds of chess and boxing. Instagram's first logo was inspired by a knockoff Polaroid camera to capture the app's purpose, taking and sharing photos by applying filters. The Puli is a breed of dog of Hungarian origin, known for its distinctive coat of curly woolly hair, which forms natural cords or ropes that can hang down to the ground. Mangoes are the most widely consumed fruit in the world, with annual production exceeding 55 million tons. Did you know there is a country with more sheep than people? There are over 80,000 sheep in the Faroe Islands, while the human population is around 50,000. The horseshoe crab, although its name suggests it, is actually an arachnid and has 10 jointed legs that it uses to move around the seabed. In Yanar Dağ, Azerbaijan, you can see an impressive natural spectacle. Water fountains that burn due to natural gas seeping through cracks in the ground. Apples float in water because they contain about 25% air in their composition. Did you know that border collies are the most intelligent dogs in the world? They are so clever because they were bred to be the best helpers in the field. Did you know that Bangkok, Thailand, is the most visited city in the world? It receives around 22 million visitors a year. During the 17th century in Germany, there was the Katzenklavier, a kind of piano that used live cats to make sounds by digging their claws into their tails. The sailfish is the fastest fish, being able to reach 68 miles per hour over short distances. During World War II, Germany had a secret project called Operation Bernard, which involved counterfeiting British pound sterling to weaken the UK economy. In Italy, the Palio of Siena is a famous horse race held twice a year in Siena's Campo Square. In 1838, Louis Daguerre took the first photo of a person, a shoe shiner in Paris, who unwittingly posed for the photo. The southernmost town in the world is Puerto Williams in Chile, situated on Navarino Island at the southern tip of South America. The New York Stock Exchange has its own ceremonial bell, which is rung to mark the start and close of trading sessions. Jupiter, the giant of the solar system, is home to a colossal storm known as the Great Red Spot, which has been raging for over 400 years. In Antarctica, a type of vehicle called a B-206 van is used to move over snow and ice, sliding easily thanks to its tracks instead of wheels. The slow loris is a very peculiar primate and the only known poisonous one. It produces a toxin in its brachial glands, which it uses to defend itself from predators. Badminton is the fastest playing racket sport in the world, with hitting speeds that can exceed 186 miles per hour. In Italy, there is a free wine fountain in Abruzzo. Visitors can pour themselves red wine straight from a public tap. In 1954, Roger Bannister defied the impossible and became the first human to run a mile in under 4 minutes, a truly difficult feat. In Barlovento, Maldives, the sea shines like a starry sky thanks to the bioluminescence of plankton. Mount Thor in Canada boasts the largest vertical drop on the planet, standing at an impressive 492 feet high. The Diamond Sutra, a Buddhist text printed in China around 868 AD, is the oldest surviving printed book. The cliffs of Moher on the west coast of Ireland reach up to 702 feet above the Atlantic Ocean, offering breathtaking views. Did you know what the oldest fish in the world is? It's the coelacanth. This prehistoric fish emerged during the Devonian period, around 400 million years ago. Did you know that the female praying mantis devours the male during or after mating? She does this to obtain additional nutrients and produce her eggs. In Japan, the kintsugi ceremony transforms broken objects into pieces of art, repairing them with gold, silver, or platinum dust. The McDonald's in Pushkin Square, Moscow, made history by being the first fast food restaurant to open in the Soviet Union in 1990. The hermit crab, without a shell of its own, rents empty snail shells to protect its soft abdomen. The Roman Emperor Caligula appointed his horse, Incitatus, consul, one of the highest positions in Roman politics. Every spring, Hallerbos Forest in Belgium is transformed into a magical purple sea, thanks to the stunning blooming of hyacinths. In Japan, fugu sushi, made from the puffer fish, is a dangerous delicacy. Only licensed chefs with specialized training can safely prepare it, as the fish contains deadly toxins. In India, the Karni Mata temple in Rajasthan worships rats, who are considered reincarnations of the deceased and are revered as sacred beings. The name Saudi Arabia comes from the Saud royal family, who unified the country in 1932, marking the beginning of its modern history. The Akashi Keikyo Bridge in Japan, the longest in the world at 6,532 feet. The Milky Way, our galaxy, contains between 100 billion and 400 billion stars. Mesa Verde in the southwestern U.S. is home to fascinating ruins built by the Anasazi, who created adobe cities in cliffs and canyons, such as those in Chaco Canyon. Buddhist monk Joa Thung Thich Tante from Vietnam set a world record for continuous meditation of 123 days in 2008. In Russia, Semifronai, Yosefa Island in the Arctic is so remote and cold that only scientists and military personnel dare to inhabit it. Did you know what the oldest Egyptian artifact is? It's a fascinating piece that has survived for more than 5,000 years. The Narmer palette, dating back to 3100 BC. Snakes have no eyelids and cannot blink. The Fallas Festival in Valencia, Spain, is an explosion of color and tradition, known for its giant papier-mâché monuments called fallas that are built and then burned. Admiral Nelson, after dying in the Battle of Trafalgar, was transported back to England in a barrel full of cognac to preserve his body. Did you know that Neil Armstrong's footprints on the moon are still marked? Zebras are white with black stripes, not black with white stripes. This can be determined by the coloring of the skin under their fur. The first tweet in the history of Twitter, sent by Jack Dorsey in 2006, read, "Just setting up my TDDR." In China, the Dragon Boat Festival is celebrated with exciting races of decorated boats and tasty zongzi, a traditional delicacy in honor of the poet Qu Yuan. Did you know that composer Johann Sebastian Bach had 20 children with his 2 wives? Several of them became prominent musicians in their time. The Kumbum Wall in India stretches for 22 miles, making it the second longest wall in the world after the famous Great Wall of China. The Narwhal, the unicorn of the sea, is a whale with a long, twisted tusk that can measure up to 10 feet in males. Pharaoh Tutankhamun ascended the throne of Egypt at the age of 9, and at just 18, his life and reign came to a tragic end. The spotted hyena, with its incredible bite, surpasses lions and tigers, becoming the carnivorous mammal with the most powerful bite. Did you know that the Choluteca helical bridge in Honduras has a spiral shape that makes it resistant to hurricanes and earthquakes? In some Scandinavian countries, such as Finland and Sweden, it is normal to let babies sleep outdoors, even in the middle of winter. Do you know the mountain oriole? It's a fascinating bird from Central America that builds pouch-shaped nests hanging them from tree branches. In Japan, punctuality is so important that a delay of just 1 minute on trains is considered a rarity. Dragonflies have 6 legs, but they can't walk because their legs are adapted for grasping. In Scotland, January 25th is celebrated as World Haggis Day, a holiday dedicated to this traditional dish made from sheep's entrails. Did you know that the term bug to describe an error in a computer program comes from a real insect? In 1947, a moth got caught in a relay on the Mark II computer, and they've been calling it a bug ever since. The heart of a hummingbird can beat up to 1,260 times per minute. Amazing, right? The BMW logo is inspired by the flag of Bavaria, the German state where the famous car brand was born. Elephants have the longest pregnancy of all land mammals, lasting an astonishing 22 months. In South Korea, the Boryong Mud Festival turns mud into fun, where everyone dives in to enjoy its therapeutic benefits. Banana plants are giant herbs and not trees, as they lack a woody trunk. In Japan, bonsai is not just a miniature tree, it's an entire art of growing nature in tiny pots. On the island of Java, Indonesia, Mount Bromo continuously spews smoke from its active crater, creating a stunning and mysterious sight. Canada is a true water paradise. With over 2 million lakes, it has more than the rest of the world combined. In Bolivia, the train cemetery on the Uyuni Salt Flats holds old abandoned locomotives and trains. In 1914, during World War I, enemy soldiers held a Christmas truce, sang Christmas carols, and played football. The Germans won 3-2. The Navajo, the second largest indigenous group in the U.S., are famous for their textile art, especially their weaving in blankets. On Jeju Island in South Korea, Dol Harubang statues stand as guardians of the island, protecting it from evil spirits and bringing good luck. The Roman Alcantara Bridge in Spain from 104 AD and the Sayu Bridge in China from the 6th century are some of the oldest bridges still in use. The maglev in Japan, the world's fastest magnetic levitation train, reaches speeds of over 311 miles per hour thanks to electromagnetic levitation. The white-tailed deer can jump up to 10 feet high and 29.5 feet long in a single bound. Quite the natural athlete. In Japan, during the new year, it is tradition to give money in special envelopes called otoshidama, a custom much awaited by children. Ostriches, the largest birds in the world, can reach speeds of up to 43.5 miles per hour, a real race in the wild. Google's original name was Backrub before it was changed to its current form. The Non-Aggression Pact signed between the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany in 1939, known as the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, divided Eastern Europe into Nazi and Soviet spheres of influence. The red kangaroo is Australia's largest land mammal and is known for its ability to jump long distances at speeds of up to 40 miles per hour. India has the largest vegetarian population in the world. In numbers, around 30% of the Indian population is vegetarian. Ocean 1K is a robot diver with 3D vision, capable of exploring the deep sea as if it were a human being underwater. Istanbul is the only city in the world that links 2 continents, Europe and Asia. The first coin in history was minted in Lydia, present-day Turkey, around 600 BC, marking the beginning of currency as a means of exchange. The pink Amazon river dolphin, the largest of the river dolphins, inhabits the Amazon and Orinoco basins, standing out for its unique color and intelligence. The Nazca lines in Peru are enigmatic giant geoglyphs, which can only be fully appreciated from the air. The platypus is a fascinating animal, with a duck-like bill that allows it to detect electric fields and a beaver-like tail. The ancient theater of Epidaurus in Greece is so acoustically perfect that the actors can be heard clearly from every corner. Russia holds the record for having more time zones than any other country, with a total of 11 time zones. The Hercules beetle, the world's heaviest insect, can weigh up to 135 grams and measure up to 17 centimeters in length. In Scotland, the Highland Games are an annual competition that challenges strength and skill with events such as log throwing and hammer throwing. Russia is home to the world's longest railway line, the Trans-Siberian Railway, which runs from Moscow to Vladivostok, crossing vast Far Eastern landscapes. The mantis shrimp has the fastest punch in the animal kingdom, capable of striking with the speed of a rifle bullet. In Japan, addresses are organized by blocks and parcels numbered in chronological order, rather than using street names. During the Cold War, NASA spent $1 million developing a pen that could write in zero gravity, while Russian cosmonauts simply used pencils. Scotland is home to over 3,000 castles, with Edinburgh Castle standing out for its stunning location on Castle Rock and panoramic views. Squirrels can remember up to 80% of the nuts they bury, thanks to their incredible spatial and olfactory memory. The CN Tower in Toronto, Canada, was the tallest structure in the world when it was completed in 1970, reaching 1,814 feet in height. The stonefish, one of the most venomous in the world, has dorsal spines loaded with venom so toxic it can be fatal within minutes. The island of Borneo is divided between Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brunei, with Kalimantan in Indonesia making up 80% of the island. The remaining 20% belongs to Brunei and Malaysia. The first commercial airplane flight took place on January 1, 1914, between St. Petersburg and Tampa, Florida, covering 21 miles in just 23 minutes. NASA's Perseverance rover, launched in 2020, is exploring Mars for signs of past and present life as part of the Mars 2020 mission. Famous physicist Albert Einstein was offered the position of President of Israel in 1952, but turned it down. The shortest war in history was between the British Empire and Zanzibar on August 27, 1896. It lasted just 38 minutes. South Korea has the fastest internet connection in the world, with an average download speed of about 26.1 megabits per second. The Roman Empire, with more than 90 million inhabitants, stretched from Britain to North Africa and the Middle East. Dragonflies have huge eyes that cover almost their entire head, giving them exceptional vision for hunting and navigation. Coffee is the second most traded commodity in the world, second only to oil. The Great Blue Hole in Belize is an underwater sinkhole 984 feet in diameter and 407 feet deep, the largest in the world. The first mouse, invented in 1964 by Douglas Engelbart, was made of wood and was called a mouse because of its tail-like shape and cable. Joey Chestnut holds the world record for eating 83 hot dogs in a 10-minute contest. The name Bluetooth comes from Harold Bluetooth, a Viking king from Denmark who united tribes, just as this technology connects people. The okapi, native to the Democratic Republic of Congo, is the closest animal to the giraffe, although it looks more like a zebra with stripes on its legs. In Iceland, to avoid family romances, they created the Íslendinga app. Using a database of 720,000 Icelanders, the app checks whether two people share distant ancestors. Newborn pandas are so small, you could hold one in one hand. In fact, they weigh less than a cup of tea. The dugong is like a giant sea cow. This herbivorous mammal lives in tropical waters and spends its days eating seagrass, weighing up to 882 pounds. The Charleston is like the salsa of the 1920s. It was born in Charleston, South Carolina, and became so famous during the Jazz Age that everyone wanted to move to the rhythm of this energetic dance. In Okinawa, Japan, people live longer. 68 out of 100,000 live to be centenarians. The Pont du Gard in France, an incredible Roman bridge over the Tarn River, seems to defy gravity with its majestic stone arch. The bullfrog, the largest in North America, can measure up to 25 centimeters, a giant jumper. The first internet domain, symbolics.com, was registered on March 15, 1985. A digital pioneer, the bottlenose dolphin can sleep with only one hemisphere of its brain, so it can rest and be alert at the same time. In New Zealand, the Maori have a unique greeting called hongi, where they press their foreheads and noses together. It's like a face hug. In Coober Pedy, Australia, people live in caves underground to escape the scorching desert heat. The vampire squid is a true marine superhero. With cape-like fins and tentacles that look like a vampire outfit, this squid inhabits the depths of the ocean. In Finland, they have a unique sport called wife racing. Men must carry their wives while they navigate a complicated obstacle course. The musculature of octopuses is so advanced that they can move and coordinate each of their arms independently. Nauru Island was once the richest nation in the world per capita, thanks to its huge phosphate reserves. But today it faces major economic challenges following the dwindling of these resources. Did you know that the pangolin is the only mammal with scales, and these are made of keratin, just like our nails and hair? Hurling is an Irish sport that combines football, rugby, and hockey, using sticks to hit a ball and score goals. The black swan is a species of aquatic bird native to Australia, known for its black plumage and large size. The sea dragon is a fascinating marine fish that belongs to the same family as seahorses and pipefish. Shinjuku Station in Japan is the busiest in the world, with more than 3 million people a day walking through its corridors. Catalina de Erauso, also known as the Ensign Nun, was a female nun who disguised herself as a man, becoming a soldier for almost 2 decades in the 17th century. In Fez, Morocco, there are tanneries, where the ancient process of treating skins to turn them into leather is still carried out. Do you know the Gate of the Gods? It is a mysterious 23 feet rock-cut structure located on the shores of Lake Titicaca in southern Peru, known as Aramu-Muru. Japan is home to the world's longest pedestrian suspension bridge, the Kokonoe Bridge, which measures 1,279 feet over a gorge. The International Space Station travels at a speed of approximately 17,398 miles per hour, completing an orbit around the Earth every 90 minutes. Beluga whales are very curious animals that approach the coast in ships in search of company. The Holi Festival, celebrated in India, symbolizes the arrival of spring and the victory of good over evil, and is celebrated by throwing colored powder. The Kowloon Walled City in Hong Kong is a unique urban labyrinth, with superimposed buildings creating incredible structural chaos. The Kilauea volcano in Hawaii is the most active in the world and has been erupting almost non-stop since 1983. Senet, an ancient Egyptian board game, is one of the oldest known, with boards and pieces dating back over 5,000 years. The Ojos del Salado volcano, on the border between Chile and Argentina, is the highest in the world, reaching 22,615 feet above sea level. In 1990, Alan Imtaj, a graduate student at McGill University, created Archie, the first functional web search engine. The world's largest pure gold bar, produced in 2005, weighs 551 pounds and is on public display at the Toyo Gold Museum in Japan. Hungary issued the highest denomination paper money in world history, a 100 trillion pengo note, in 1945. The first man to circumnavigate the globe was the Spanish navigator Juan Sebastián Elcano in September 1522. Reindeer walk in a spiral as a defense tactic, making it difficult for predators to attack one alone and increasing the chances of the predator being injured in the stampede. Humans and chimpanzees have roughly the same amount of hair on their bodies. Did you know that an estimated 80% of a baby's cognitive abilities come from their maternal heritage? Sudan in the Nubia region has the largest concentration of pyramids in the world, with 255, surpassing countries like Egypt and Mexico. The eye of the giant squid is the largest in the animal kingdom, with an impressive diameter of up to 30 centimeters. The Sapporo Snow Festival in Japan is famous for its gigantic and detailed snow and ice sculptures, and attracts artists from around the world. The expiration dates on water bottles are not for water, but for plastic, which can degrade over time. The first McDonald's opened in 1940 in San Bernardino, California, with just 9 menu items. The shortest alphabet in the world is the Rotokas language, with just 12 letters, spoken on Bougainville Island in Papua New Guinea. Iguanas have a third eye on the top of their head, which helps them spot predators from above. The housefly lives for only 14 days, but in that short time, it lays up to 500 eggs, transmits diseases, and annoys us nonstop. It's surprising, but some rocks, called itakalomi, can bend without breaking, thanks to their unique properties. Neverwinter Nights was the first game to allow online multiplayer via AOL servers. Mozilla Firefox got its name from the red panda, an animal known for its reddish color and resemblance to foxes. Nicolas Cage was banned by Ferrari for selling his Ferrari Enzo during an economic crisis, which the Italian brand considered an offense. In 1990, the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum was the victim of a spectacular robbery, making off with 13 works of art valued at $500 million. Horses can sleep standing up, all while staying ready to escape if danger arises. Sweden has more islands than any other country, with a staggering total of over 270,000. If you wanted to visit a different island every day, it would take you over 700 years. On commercial flights, to maintain safety, pilots and co-pilots never eat the same food. If one gets sick, the other can still fly the plane. The white bellbird has the loudest song in the world, reaching 125 decibels, louder than a chainsaw. In the Namib Desert in Africa, there are dunes that can reach heights of up to 984 feet, some of the highest in the world. Jewel Changi Airport in Singapore has the world's tallest indoor waterfall. In Japan, there are themed cafes where you can enjoy your drink while interacting with owls, cats, rabbits. The first successful vaccine was created in 1796 by Edward Jenner, who used cowpox to immunize against human smallpox. Kangaroos are the only large animals that hop as their primary method of locomotion. M&Ms are named after their creators, Forrest Mars and Bruce Murray. Forrest was the son of the founder of Mars Inc. and Bruce, the son of the president of Hershey. In 1941, they partnered to create these iconic candies. The Forbidden City in Beijing, China, is the largest imperial palace in the world. It's over 980 years old, almost 500 years old. Wolves howl to communicate with other members of the pack and mark their territory. Mead made with water, honey, and yeast is considered the oldest alcoholic beverage in the world. Ganymede, the largest moon in the solar system, is larger than Mercury and is believed to contain an underground ocean with more water than Earth. The Baalbek monolith in Lebanon is one of the largest carved stones in the world, weighing an estimated 1,000 tons. The largest cashew tree in the world, located in Brazil, covers 8,000 square meters, equivalent to almost 70 houses. Its branches grow so long that they look like an entire forest. In Brazil, more than 54% of the population consider themselves football fans. The Cayman Islands were named after the large number of alligators that inhabited the region when Christopher Columbus arrived in 1503. The Atlantic Ocean is saltier than the Pacific Ocean due to its higher evaporation and lower rainfall. The Peneda Gerês National Park in Portugal is the country's only national park, renowned for its stunning natural beauty. Sharks do not have bones. Their skeleton is made up of cartilage. a tissue that is lighter and more flexible than bone. The platypus and the echidna are unique animals that lack a stomach. Instead, their throat connects directly to the intestine. Airbus and Audi have created the Pop-Up Next, an autonomous air taxi concept that combines the best of aviation and land transport. Mammatus clouds have a unique appearance, with bag-like formations or cow legs, often seen before or after intense storm. Located on the island of Java, Indonesia, Borobudur is the largest Buddhist temple in the world, famous for its stunning architecture and detailed sculptures. Did you know that Natalie Portman was born in Jerusalem, Israel, and holds dual Israeli and American citizenship? KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, founded in 1919, is the oldest airline in the world. Pajama Castle in Slovenia is so epic it's literally in a cave. In Japan, many companies have designated areas for employees to take naps, promoting productivity and well-being. In 1937, the German airship Hindenburg tragically caught fire while attempting to land in Lakehurst, New Jersey during a transatlantic flight. In Germany, the Krampuslauf is celebrated every year, an event honoring Krampus, the demonic companion of St. Nicholas. Nicholas, who punishes naughty children during Christmas. The Lambert Glacier in Antarctica is the largest glacier in the world. The Mississippi alligator has had the same appearance since the age of the dinosaurs, surviving unchanged for millions of years. The musk deer is the champion of the cold, able to withstand temperatures as extreme as -58 degrees Fahrenheit. The first mobile phone with an integrated camera was the JS-04, launched by Sharp in 2000. The mandarin duck is the most colorful duck in the world. Males have bright shades of orange, white, green, and blue, while females are a more discreet brown. Did you know that Tom Cruise has a pilot's license just like Angelina Jolie? The island of Spinalonga in Greece was a leper colony for much of the 20th century, where sufferers lived apart from their loved ones because of the stigma of the disease. The world's youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner is Malala Yousafzai of Pakistan, who received it at the age of 17. Norway is home to the world's largest wooden church, the Hedel Church, built in the early 13th century. The largest of its kind, the Steller sea lion, can weigh up to 5,511 pounds. Julian Assange, founder of WikiLeaks, lived in the Ecuadorian embassy in London for 7 years to avoid extradition to Sweden on charges of sexual assault. The human brain is approximately 60% fat. Macadamia nuts are extremely toxic to dogs, causing reactions such as fever and temporary paralysis. Yazd in Iran is famous for its wind towers, called badgirs, which channel cool air into building. The highest recorded jump by a horse was 8.1 feet, performed by Huaso X Faithful in Chile in 1949. Valentina Vasilyeva, a Russian peasant, holds the all-time record for giving birth to 69 children between 1725 and 1765, with an impressive total of 16 sets of twins, 7 triplets, and 4 quadruplets. People weigh less at the equator than at the poles because the Earth is an oblate spheroid, widest at the equator and flattened at the poles. Vanilla is the second most expensive spice in the world after saffron, due to its complex and laborious cultivation process. In 2013, Mark Zuckerberg bought all the houses around his mansion for $30 million to ensure more privacy. Setenil de las Bodegas in Cadiz, Spain, is a unique village where many houses are built under huge rocks and cliffs. Cuba is the only country where taxis are old vehicles, called almendrones, because of their elongated shape. Kombucha is a fermented drink made from sweetened tea fermented by a colony of bacteria and yeast known as SCOBY. Rihanna, born in Barbados, is also a cultural and tourist ambassador for her home island. Disc golf is a sport similar to traditional golf, but instead of balls, Discs are thrown into metal baskets. The Petronas Towers in Malaysia were the tallest buildings in the world from 1996 to 2004, reaching a height of 1,482 feet. Villa Les Cèdres in Saint-Jean-Cap-Ferrat, France, was purchased in 2019 by a Ukrainian tycoon for a staggering 200 million euros. Funchal Airport in Madeira, Portugal, was renamed Cristiano Ronaldo International Airport in 2016, after the famous footballer born on the island. In Churchill, Canada, the Polar Bear Hotel offers a unique experience. Guests can watch polar bears from the safety of their room. Did you know there is an animal with red eyes? The tree frog. Dim sum from China, consisting of small portions of food served in steamer baskets, is traditionally enjoyed with tea. In India, brides decorate their hands and feet with intricate henna designs at their wedding. Did you know that there is an area between Egypt and Sudan called Bir Tawil that is not claimed by either country? Dua Lipa is trilingual. She can speak English, Albanian, and Spanish. In 2006, Pluto was stripped of its title as a planet and was now considered a dwarf planet. Torres del Paine National Park in Chilean Patagonia is famous for its towering granite peaks, glaciers, and blue lakes. The island of Tokelau in the South Pacific is so unique that it doesn't have its own currency and relies entirely on the New Zealand dollar. The average person walks about 74,564 miles in their lifetime. That's like walking around the world 3 times. Giraffes have the largest hearts of all land mammals, weighing up to 24 pounds. Although the Tyrannosaurus rex is famous, it was not the largest dinosaur. The Argentinosaurus, at 115 feet long and weighing 100 tons, far outweighs it. The zone of silence in Mexico is a mystery. Radio signals don't work and compasses lose their north near stones on the ground. Dean's Blue Hole in the Bahamas is the deepest underwater sinkhole in the world, over 663 feet deep. Leeches have a superpower. Their saliva contains an anticoagulant substance that prevents blood from clotting while they feed. Switzerland is famous for its political neutrality and has not participated in any international war since 1815. The Battle of Stalingrad in World War II was the bloodiest in history, with over 2 million dead and wounded. The tuatara, a reptile from New Zealand, is considered a living fossil because it has changed little in millions of years. Android was created by Android Inc., but Google bought it in 2005 and released it to the public in 2008, changing the world of smartphones. The quetzal, Guatemala's national symbol, is a vibrantly colored bird with a tail that can be up to a meter long. Do you know Villa Oleandra? It's George Clooney's luxurious property on Lake Como, Italy, famous for its beauty and tranquility. Madagascar is home to the fossa, the island's largest carnivore, with an elegant silhouette and graceful movements. Did you know that Keanu Reeves was born in Beirut, Lebanon? New Zealand's currency is as unique as its fauna, with images of iconic animals such as the kiwi and the kakapo. In Whittier, Alaska, most of the 220 residents live in a single building, the Begik Towers, which houses housing, a school, and other services. Today, more mobile devices are sold than toothbrushes. India leads the world's film industry, producing more than 1,000 films each year, making it the country with the most films created. The red-billed gull has a bright red beak, allowing them to easily recognize each other during breeding season. The smallest planet in the solar system is Mercury, with a size similar to that of the Moon. In Japan, it is traditional to enjoy a relaxing bath in onsen, natural hot springs that offer a unique relaxation experience. Penicillin, the first antibiotic, was discovered by accident in 1928 by Alexander Fleming. The Sistine Chapel is famous for its ceiling, painted by Michelangelo, with iconic frescoes such as the creation of Adam and the Last Judgment. Tooth enamel is the hardest substance in the human body, protecting teeth from wear and decay. The longest hiccup on record lasted 68 years and happened to Charles Osborne. The first novel ever written on a typewriter was Mark Twain's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. The largest plant in the world is Pando, a grove of cottonwood trees in Utah, which, although it looks like a group of trees, is actually a single clonal organism connected by its roots. A fruit called durian is so smelly that it is banned in many public places in Asia, such as on public transport. In 1989, it was discovered that the pyramids of Egypt are aligned with the stars. In India, the city of Jaisalmer is entirely built of golden sandstone, earning it the nickname the Golden City. The longest navigable aqueduct in the world is located in Magdeburg, Germany, and is 918 meters long. A common pencil can draw a continuous line of up to 35 miles before it wears out. Lake Titicaca, located between Bolivia and Peru, is considered the highest navigable lake in the world, located at about 12,467 feet above sea level. Astronauts can lose up to 2% of their bone mass during long missions in space. It is estimated that most of the world's helium will be used up in the next 20 to 30 years. The planet Venus rotates counterclockwise to most of the planets in the solar system. The longest opera ever written is Richard Wagner's Die Meistersinger von Nürnberg, which lasts more than 5 hours. The average human has about 100,000 hairs on their head, and they lose 50 to 100 a day. In 1991, scientists discovered a global vault in Norway that holds plant seeds from around the world. Russia and Japan have yet to reach a formal peace agreement following World War II. The planet Saturn is the only one in the solar system that has such a low density that it could float on water if there was an ocean large enough to receive it. The humans are the only known species that can cry due to emotions, such as sadness or joy. Pine needles, which are the leaves of the pine tree, contain more vitamin C than oranges, making them an incredibly rich natural source of this nutrient. The Pallas's cat, a little-known feline from Central Asia, has fur so dense and soft that it is considered one of the most exotic in the animal kingdom. The hummingbird is the only bird capable of flying backwards, thanks to its ability to move its wings in a figure-8 motion. The Incas used knotted ropes, known as quipus, to record information and keep their accounts. In Australia, there is a species of fish known as deep-sea fish that has the ability to turn on its own bioluminescence. Japanese spider crabs can grow legs that are more than 10 feet long. The human brain has the ability to remember up to 100,000 different faces over a lifetime, allowing it to recognize people with great accuracy. The Gateway to Hell region in Turkmenistan, where a natural gas crater burns, was a drilling accident. Mosquitoes detect their victims by following the carbon dioxide that people exhale. The Colca Canyon in Peru is twice as deep as the Grand Canyon in Arizona. The Pico de Orizaba in Mexico is the highest volcano in North America, reaching 18,500 feet above sea level. Before The Simpsons, the most successful animated series was The Flintstones. It is estimated that there are about 10,000 billion ants in the world, which corresponds to the total weight of the human population. The first car in history, invented by Carl Benz in 1885, did not have a steering wheel, but a lever to steer it. The Iceman Ötzi, found in the Italian Alps in 1991, lived more than 5,000 years ago. His discovery has provided valuable information about the customs and life of Copper Age people. In 1965, a boy named Shoichi Yokoi was found on an island in Guam after 28 years living in the jungle. Spiders can walk on water because of surface tension, which allows them to stay on the surface without sinking. This ability is especially useful for some species that inhabit aquatic environments. Capuchin monkeys are famous for their ability to use tools, a unique characteristic among primates. They use stones and sticks in surprising ways to access food, such as cracking nuts or extracting insects. The Lucy mud volcano in Indonesia has been in constant activity for more than 10 years, starting in May 2006. These are special cages used by National Geographic and BBC cameramen to closely and safely capture the movements and behaviors of bears. Watch as a mother bear and her two cubs put this technology to the test. It takes nerves of steel to be in there. In some medical centers, virtual reality glasses are used to distract children during injections. An animated character places a magic gem on the child's arm right at the moment of the injection, distracting him from the pain. And the best thing is that when the glasses are removed, they have the mark of the gem to take the experience to another level. What appear to be leaves floating in the water are actually fish known as leaf fish. Their camouflage is surprising and effective. And of course, they couldn't have any other name, could they? Catasetum orchids have a peculiar way of reproducing. When a pollinating insect enters its flower, a sac of pollen with a sticky pad is launched towards the insect so that it spreads it on female flowers. Samsung is developing robots to help with household chores. Bob Handy is one of them and can set the table, load the dishwasher, pick up dirty clothes, and store provisions. I think it will be the new best friend for many. The Spark system is a backpack with an inflatable parachute that guarantees a safe fall from up to 1,093 yards. It weighs only 55 pounds and allows landings on land and water surfaces. The Apis dorsata laboriosa, also known as the Himalayan honeybee, is the largest in the world, measuring up to 1.18 inches long. During mating season, bald eagles perform pirouettes in the air as part of their courtship, interlocking their talons and spinning together. I think men should learn from them. The city of Saint-Malo in France has the highest tides in all of Europe. The houses act as protective barriers and are fitted with reinforced four-pane glass windows. Mount Thor in Canada has the longest vertical drop in the world, at over 3,280 feet high. I know many who wouldn't even dare to visit this place. Artist Carl Johnson is known for creating silhouettes of people's profiles without them noticing, using scissors with great skill. Dark Young has designed a unique speaker that uses ferrofluid to visualize musical patterns in response to sound waves. In 2010, the Windows Phone team held a funeral for the iPhone, believing that their product would outsell Apple. Ironically, today the Windows Phone is no more. In Japan, there is a Pokemon fossil museum inspired by the video game, which can be visited virtually from anywhere in the world. In Sweden, banana and kiwi are used as toppings on pizzas, while in other parts of the world, pineapple on Hawaiian pizza is still a topic of debate. There is quite a difference between pineapple and banana. Scientists have discovered a caterpillar called Rhodina baracunda that makes a squealing sound when touched as a defense mechanism. The Airspace Line's Super Guppy cargo plane is used by NASA to transport rockets and other bulky equipment, standing out for its ability to carry large payloads. Whale tracking devices are now placed non-invasively by drones, which simply drop the device with suction cups when the whales come up for air. Keyhole clouds are a rare weather phenomenon that resemble a horizontal tornado. They hold their shape for just a few minutes before dissipating. The world's saddest-looking fish, known as Argyropolicus, looks like a lost soul, wandering in the ocean depths. Just looking at it makes me sad. While most people can't stand the sight of a cockroach, Shelby Counterman cares for more than 4,000, even making them costumes and treating them like dolls. Paintings by Frida Kahlo and Picasso were X-rayed to reveal what the artists had painted before creating their final work. How about that? This snake-faced man has green eyeballs tattooed on his eyes. He developed the technique himself and claims it's safe. With the idea of never being left without Wi-Fi again, Raul Santiago quit his job to live as a digital nomad, traveling and working from different places. The dream job. Astronauts use solar panels to recharge their suit's energy when they are on the moon. It is done using a technique that allows each suit to have 36 hours of autonomy, and I guess it charges very quickly. In case you didn't know, bats take a head-to-toe bath. Yes, while hanging upside down, they just let gravity do its work. Talk about extreme comfort. In California's national park, there's a sequoia called Hyperion that stands 379 feet tall, 65 feet taller than the Statue of Liberty. Don't forget to look up if you visit, or you'll miss the ceiling of the forest. These old stinky Nike sneakers sold for a staggering $437,500. They were the brand's first model. Imagine how much they would have been worth if they smelled brand new. This tiny bridge, which separates Spain from Portugal, measures just 10.5 feet, or about 5 steps. It's perfect for those who want to travel to another country without breaking walking records. Deer shed their antlers in a process called demogue, at least once a year. Although it may look impressive, it's completely painless for them. It's like us changing hats. Although they move slowly on land, sloths swim 3 times faster. They can hold their breath for up to 40 minutes by lowering their heart rate. In the 1700s, pineapples were so rare that a single one could cost up to $8,000. They weren't eaten. They were used as a symbol of wealth. Today, pineapples are the real tropical gems. Cosmin del Sol, a weightlifter, suffered the largest bruise when he tore his pectoral muscle trying to break the world bench press record. That's a true championship bruise. This is how a mosquito finds and punctures a blood vessel. It can suck blood for 4 minutes. And you thought straws were annoying? In Algarrobo, Chile, there is a pool containing 250 million liters of purified seawater. It's so big that you'd need 100 Olympic swimming pools to fill it. On Mars, Olympus Mons rises to 15 miles, 3 times higher than Mount Everest. It's the perfect place for a spacewalk if you're feeling adventurous. This little video snippet is all that remains of the world's oldest film, recorded in 1888, a true treasure of cinema before special effects existed. Banana trees bend due to negative phototropism. Instead of growing towards the ground, they turn towards the sun in search of light. In Colombia, a palm tree reaches 194 feet in height. Normal palm trees are around 98 feet meters, so this is a true giant of nature. Ideal for professional palm climbers. Oh, they don't exist? Changing the oil in a Bugatti Veyron costs between $20,000 and $25,000. With that, you could buy 1 or even 2 new cars and not have to worry about the oil. The deepest hole ever dug on Earth is just over 7.45 miles long. If the Earth were an onion, it would have barely broken through the first layer of its skin. Did you know that freezer edges are used to store meat trays upright? A kitchen hack that will leave you cold. This castle was built from a single grain of sand. Looks like there are architects with a lot of free time and an incredible eye. A white dwarf star called Lucy has crystallized into a diamond larger than Earth. Astronomers named it after the Beatles song, "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds." A woodpecker's tongue extends from its skull, wrapping around its brain. So instead of its tongue hanging out, it's wrapped tightly around it. This shark was discovered in the Gulf of Mexico and is just 5.51 inches long. If the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs had hit 30 seconds later, it would have fallen into the ocean, possibly saving them from extinction. Dinosaurs could have had a bright future. This Egyptian dress, made of over 7,000 individual pieces, was found in a tomb in Giza. Ancient Egyptian fashion sure had details. From a young age, samurai were taught to go to the bathroom with one leg out of their pants, so as not to compromise their mobility in case of attack. The stripes and spots on cats' fur grow from their skin. Even if you shaved off all their fur, you'd still see them. They always carry their style with them. This 17th century pencil was found on the roof of a house and is now part of Faber-Castell's private collection. It looks like someone stopped doing their homework and forgot about it for centuries. Mustard can help fight cramps by activating nerve receptors that distract your nervous system. Next time you feel a cramp, think of a hot dog. This is how 13th century Europeans imagined African animals. Crocodiles, lions, and elephants painted based on stories of explorers. The most expensive internet domain was sold for $872 million. www.cars.gov. 16% of women are born blonde, but 33% of them are blonde. The sun releases more energy in 1 second than all the energy consumed by humanity since its beginning. Napoleon Bonaparte calculated that the stones used in the construction of the Egyptian pyramids would be enough to build a huge wall around France. The letter J is the only one not listed on the periodic table. It seems that chemistry is not a fan of Joseph-type first names. The easiest way to tell a carnivore from an herbivore is by looking at their eyes. Carnivores, dogs, lions, have them at the front to locate their prey. Herbivores, birds, rabbits, have them on the sides to detect predators. A person blinks about 25,000 times a week, and then we wonder why we get so tired of watching the series in one sitting. CDs were designed to hold 72 minutes of music because that's the length of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Lightning kills more people than volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. Lightning is more deadly than we think. It's not just for horror movies. The strongest material created by nature is the spiderweb, and yet we still fight with kitchen paper that doesn't tear. Russians answer the phone by saying, "I'm listening." It seems Russians don't have time for hello, zranya. They get straight to the point. 15% of American women send themselves flowers on Valentine's Day. Before World War II, there were 22 Hitler surnames in the New York City telephone directory. By the end of the war, there were none left. If heart disease, cancer, and diabetes were eradicated, the human life expectancy would be 99.2 years. Before 1800, shoes for the left and right feet were the same. Imagine the relief of discovering that we had two different feet. Einstein was never a good student and didn't even speak well at age 9. His parents thought he was mentally retarded. And then he revolutionized physics. Sometimes beginnings aren't what they seem. The Atlantic Ocean is saltier than the Pacific. The elephant is the only animal with 4 knees. That's why they master the elephant walk like no one else. 1 drop of oil can turn 25 liters of potable water into undrinkable water. A reminder that we must take care of our natural resources. Hair grows faster at night, and we lose an average of 100 hairs a day. Donald Duck cartoons were banned in Finland because he didn't wear pants. It seems that in Finland, the dress code applies to everyone, even cartoons. A sneeze travels from your mouth and nose at 600 miles per hour. You're enjoying it, right? Give it a like and we'll continue right away. Studies show that 100 cups of coffee consumed within a 4-hour period can cause death. There are only 3 animals with blue tongues: the chow chow dog, the blue-tongued lizard, and the black bear. Ants don't sleep. Now we know why they always seem so busy. Every year, 98% of the atoms in the human body are replaced. We are literally not the same person we were last year. Blonde people have more hair than dark-haired people. Another reason to envy blondes, besides their popularity in movies, there are more cars in the city of Los Angeles than people. That's why traffic in Los Angeles is so famous. Insects are attracted to people who have just eaten a banana. The American state with the most national parks is Alaska, with 8 in total. All gondolas in Venice, Italy, must be painted black, except for those of high-ranking officials. Black is the new symbol of exclusivity. The first movie to have a sequel was King Kong in 1933. The sequel was called Son of Kong and came out the same year. Although it may seem impossible, the most common name in the world is Muhammad. More common than John, Joseph, and Mary combined. Napoleon Bonaparte was born with only 26 teeth. Maybe that's why he smiled less than other leaders. In the United States, there are more plastic flamingos than real ones. The city of Istanbul is the only one in the world whose territory is located on 2 different continents, Europe and Asia. 1 foot on each continent, literally. The average weight of an iceberg is 20 million tons. Now we know why they are so difficult to move. And yes, I know you remember Titanic. The Colombian coat of arms includes a map of Panama, remembering the shared history of both countries. Cats and dogs, like humans, can be left or right-handed. The next challenge is to teach them to write. Men use an average of 15,000 words per day, while women use around 30,000. No wonder you sometimes need to pause to listen. Months that start on a Monday will always have a Friday the 13th. Penguins don't fly because they're cold. In that fancy suit, they prefer to glide. The Coca-Cola bottle was originally green. Fashion changes, but the taste remains the same. The city with the most Rolls-Royces per capita is Hong Kong. The American state with the highest percentage of people who walk is Alaska. 80% of American men say they would marry the same woman if they had to do it over again. True love still exists. 50% of American women say they would marry the same man if they had to do it over again. It seems that men are doing a good job. Maybe the neighborhood would be even more vibrant. This is the longest passenger truck in the world. It measures 33.57 yards and can carry up to 256 people. Did you know that Eminem has his own brand of pasta sauce called Mom's Spaghetti? Yes, just like the verse in his song, Lose Yourself. There's a town in Massachusetts called Sandwich, and its cars bear the motto Sandwich Police. We don't know if they serve sandwiches to offenders, but at least the people there have an insatiable appetite for puns. This is the world's largest Tesla light show. 687 cars took part, and this is what it looked like from the ground. Watch astronauts on the Artemis mission rehearse the flag raising on the moon underwater, because it's the closest thing to lunar gravity. If your phone isn't ringing like it used to, the speakers may be clogged. Here's how to clean them. Think of it as giving your phone a spa, because even gadgets need to relax. This is what the Las Vegas sphere emoji looks like up close. A great little treat for those who always wanted to have Vegas in the palm of their hand. These are the sweet pizzas from Pizzas Patos, and the most popular one is the Ferrero Rocher one. Would you dare to try them? Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to be Superman and have lasers in your eyes? Well, Smith made it a reality with this pair of lasers that follow his eye movements. Watch out for light bulbs near him. Watch how he destroys these balloons just by looking at them. Duran Enriquez creates very original sneaker designs that he wishes existed, like those of Cheetos, Shrek, Vegeta from Dragon Ball, and Majin Buu. This is how they made the sound you hear when Mr. Krabs races in SpongeBob SquarePants. The blood in your body accounts for 7% of your total weight. If you put a selfie stick and a 360-degree camera on the trunk of your car, you'll get shots that look like they're straight out of a video game. This is what the eggs of some amphibians, like salamanders, look like. Did you know that there are tweezers to open your eyes? People use them to put in their contact lenses. They're jumbo dump, and they make sounds with their bellies and other objects. The sound of a drop hitting the surface of water never sounded so musical. The Greyhound is the fastest dog breed in the world and can run at speeds of up to 44 miles per hour. Le Colli is the oldest man to have a child. He got his wife pregnant at 92 and 10 months old. The Ayaida tribe, located in northwest Egypt, has a peculiar ritual to detect liars. Make the suspect lick a red-hot rod. If blisters appear on the tongue, he is guilty. If not, he is innocent. In 1915, San Diego, California, suffered heavy rains that caused massive flooding, allegedly caused by Charles Hatfield, a self-proclaimed rainmaker who released a chemical substance into the air. Slave-making ants capture and force other ants from different colonies to perform tasks like collecting food and digging tunnels. In Denmark, if you reach the age of 25 and are still single, you can be doused in ground cinnamon in an attempt to wish you luck in finding a partner. In 2017, a young man nearly died from suffocation due to this peculiar ritual. Chemotherapy can make your fingerprints disappear temporarily as a reversible side effect of drugs like capecitabine. Ovenbirds, birds from South America, build their nests using a mixture of mud, plants, and dung, creating sturdy structures that withstand heavy rains. Years later, they had to publicly apologize. Stefan Kurnetic posed as the Prince of Montenegro and Macedonia, fooling the European elite. Montenegro has had no royal family since 1918, and although Kurnetic was unmasked, he was never imprisoned. The impossible cube is a Rubik's Cube whose faces change color depending on the viewing angle, making it extremely complicated to solve. The immortal jellyfish, also known as Turritopsis dohrnii, has the ability to reverse its life cycle, returning to its juvenile stage after reaching maturity. Contrary to popular belief, Elon Musk did not found Tesla. The real founders were engineers Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning in 2003. Musk joined later, investing massively. In 1980, Kumar Anandan spent 72 hours in a cabin with 72 poisonous snakes, emerging unscathed. The deep purple black diamond apple is grown exclusively in the mountains of Tibet at more than 9,842 feet above sea level. In 2000, Blockbuster turned down a $50 million buyout of Netflix. Today, Netflix is worth an estimated $250 billion. The scorpion beetle is the only known insect that can inject toxins through its antennae. Nature always finds innovative ways to defend itself and survive. The oldest house in New York, built in 1650, is now a museum that tells the story of its first Dutch owners. Through the walls of this house, we can connect with an almost forgotten past. Female Komodo dragons can reproduce without the need for a male, thanks to parthenogenesis, and always produce male offspring. In a small Swiss town, it rained chocolate when a factory ventilation failure released cocoa particles into the air. In Japan, tunnels have been built under train tracks so that turtles can cross safely. Even the simplest solutions can save lives, showing respect for life in all its forms. In Oymyakon, one of the coldest places in the world, a marathon is held in conditions of up to minus 58 degrees Fahrenheit. The dog-headed spider is a species of arachnid that lives in the Amazon and whose head resembles that of a dog. A cloud can weigh more than 200 elephants due to its sheer size and the amount of water it contains, even though they appear light from the ground. In Japan, literally anyone can run for governor, and the law guarantees them a spot on TV to present their proposals. As you may have noticed, panda bears have those characteristic black patches around their eyes. Those patches aren't just a fashion statement, they are a means of communication and identification with each other. Here we have Skas, an artist who specializes in movement. Just look at the stiffness of his body. He looks like an action figure made of plastic. Did you know you can tell the ambient temperature by listening to a cricket chirp? Count how many times it chirps in 8 seconds and add 5. For example, if a cricket chirps 17 times, add 5, and you get 71.6 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the farthest backflip basketball shot ever achieved, performed by Will Bullard. Did you know that surgical lights don't cast visible shadows? Each light source emits rays from different angles, so if something blocks one angle, the remaining rays still illuminate the area. Watch sushi ramen use chemiluminescence to make a kamehameha. Remember those glow bracelets at parties? They're filled with a similar liquid. Did you know that it does you less harm to eat 2 burgers instead of 1 burger and fries? Burgers contain vegetables and are a more balanced meal, while fries only provide carbs, oil, and salt. The fastest internet in the world so far has a speed of 42 terabits per second. It's capable of downloading 50,000 gigabytes in just 1 second. In that time, you could download all the episodes of your favorite show. According to a study, people who fall asleep after 1 a.m. are more likely to develop depression and anxiety. Did you know there's such a thing as disco soccer? You have to score goals while dancing to the music. If you stop moving, you're disqualified. Some public bathrooms are equipped with timers that show how long a person has been in there. When they're empty, the sign turns green. This is Eddie Flexible, aka the man with no bones. It almost looks like their bones are made of rubber. This is how penalties were taken in the MLS in the 90s. Pretty weird, right? running from midfield instead of kicking from the penalty spot. It was almost like a mini 1v1 ice hockey game. Pelicans have one of the most elastic mouths in the animal kingdom. They can hold up to 11 liters of water in their pouches. It's like they have a built-in water bottle. Did you know that if we took the 7 billion people on Earth and turned them into a single round mass, we would be like a giant meatball less than a kilometer in diameter? This is Monami Ono, a Japanese artist who transforms old Amazon boxes into incredible sculptures. From animals to the iconic Millennium Falcon ship, her creations have reached galleries in Japan and sell for more than 11,000 euros. Does this goal sound familiar to you? In 2016, during a Premier League match between Hull City and Leicester, players Abel Hernandez and Adama Diomande performed an incredible double overhead kick, similar to the one Oliver and Tom execute in Super Champions. Have you ever wondered why anime characters shout their attacks? It turns out that most anime started out as mangas, traditional Japanese comics. To make the action clearer in still images, the characters shout out their attacks. Check out this amazing flexible LED light bulb that has a 100% shatterproof silicone casing. Its creators claim it can last 13 years and stays cool to the touch, even after hours of use. Vietnamese artist Diep Thiao has an amazing skill. He drew the faces of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi at the same time. In this curious video, a gorilla at the Miami Zoo communicates in sign language with visitors, indicating that it is not allowed to be fed. This is what the National Mall looks like, a gigantic open-air temple in Washington, which honors those who died from COVID-19. Have you noticed the two black lines under the eyes of NFL players? These lines, known as eye black, serve to reduce the glare of the sun and the lighting of the stadiums. Check out this incredible animatronic figure created by the company Spirit Halloween. When activated, it sucks out the soul of its victim. Elijah G. Miller, a man who survived 3 decades with a bullet in his head, was hit during the American Civil War in 1863. This genius hacked Google's dinosaur game using a photoelectric sensor that automatically hits the spacebar when it detects a cactus, a trick so clever that even the T-Rex would clap his tiny hands. This is the tiny bus station inspired by the movie My Neighbor Totoro. It was built by 2 old men from Takaharu, Japan, as a gift for their granddaughters. This giant mechanical pencil created by Japanese company Sakura Cray Pass is so big that you have to rest the back half on your shoulder in order to write. Do you know the archer fish with its sheep's head and human teeth? Although its teeth are disturbing, these fish are harmless and pose no threat to people. Meet Ebo, the smart robot that takes care of and plays with your cat when you're not at home. It imitates the movements of a prey and makes sounds. A happy cat is an owner without destroyed furniture. This is the Eye of the Earth, an incredible freshwater spring in Croatia with a depth of 110 meters. It looks like a giant human eye. This fearless turtle is not afraid of anything. In this video, it is seen stealing food from an alligator, which does not seem to care at all. Is there a secret alliance between turtles and alligators? These are the first escalators installed in Cameroon. As we can see, they caused many minor accidents because most people had never used one before. Meet Noon, an exoskeleton that allows you to sit anywhere without needing a chair. It looks like magic, but it is pure technology. This is what a ladybug looks like taking flight in slow motion. Her wings are 4 times bigger than her body. Did you know that in Turkey they make coffee by heating it in the sand? The copper container called sezve is dipped in hot sand, a coffee with a taste of desert adventure. This adorable little dog interrupted a Bosnian league match, even managing to tunnel into one of the players. Canine footballer on the rise. This is Boster, a little dog who suffers from vitiligo. This disease causes the loss of color in the skin and hair. Look how he went from being completely black to practically white. Here you can see how the depigmentation progressed. In November 2021, he was almost all black. In August 2022, he already had some white spots. And by May 2023 and October 2023, the change was much more noticeable. This is what a goalkeeper looks like trying to stop 100 shots from outside the box. What intensity! Ever wondered how fast a snail moves? Just 0.03 miles per hour. This is what the world looks like from their point of view. In contrast, cheetahs can accelerate up to 18.6 miles per hour in a matter of seconds. This is one of the best commercials I've ever seen. It looks like cars entering this tunnel are being sucked into a giant vacuum cleaner. This is marketing at its finest. Take a look at the peculiar insect traps this artist has created. They're so artistic, I almost feel ashamed to use them. At the Peabody Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee, ducklings come down from their rooftop residence to the hotel fountain for a dip every day. This is how mapping services take photos of routes where cars can't access. A person carries a backpack with cameras. In South Korea, a curious little dog kept following one of these operators. You can see it in the photos of the entire journey. In this photo, you can see the solar eclipses that will occur in the next 40 years. Australia will be very busy. Elias Herrera shows us what it's like to live with a cow at home. His name is Bruce, and he apparently loves human food as much as any of us. Due to Japanese laws requiring married couples to share a single surname, it is estimated that by the year 2531, all Japanese people could share the same surname, Sato. Since 2022, James Earl Jones, the iconic voice of Darth Vader, has retired. Lucasfilms asked him for permission to use previous recordings and employ artificial intelligence to continue using his voice in the next installments of the saga. Watch how Walton Goggins is characterized for his role in the Fallout series. This is the final result. Current Concept built the world's fastest pencil sharpener. It takes less than a second to sharpen a pencil. But why would you need a pencil that fast? The Nile River is the longest river in the world, with a length of approximately 6,650 kilometers, and has been instrumental in the development of Egyptian civilization. Flamenco dance, originally from Andalusia, Spain, combines passion, rhythm, and body expression, and has been recognized as intangible cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO. Kangaroos are the only large animals that hop as their primary method of locomotion. Dean's Blue Hole is an underwater sinkhole located at Dean's Blue Hole in the Bahamas, which has a depth of over 202 meters and is the deepest known blue hole in the world. The Flag Monument is the tallest monument in Mexico and is located in the city of Monterrey. It is 70 meters high and is located in the Macro Plaza, one of the largest public squares in the world. The first gasoline-powered automobile was created by Carl Benz in 1885 and was known as the Benz Patent Motor Wagon. The first computer mouse was invented by Douglas Engelbart in 1964 and was called a mouse because of its tail-like shape and cable and was made of wood. The world record for the person who has eaten the most hot dogs in a contest in 10 minutes is held by Joey Chestnut with 62 hot dogs. The first domain registered on the internet was symbolics.com on March 15, 1985. The kiwi, the national bird of New Zealand, is a nocturnal bird that cannot fly. The ENIAC computer, built in 1945, was so large that it took up a space of 167 square meters and weighed about 27 tons. Flamingos are white when they are born, and their pink pigmentation comes from carotenoids present in the food they eat. The name Bluetooth comes from Harald Bluetooth, a Viking king of Denmark, whose English translation is Blåtand, and was chosen as the name of the standard because of its ability to unite people, in the same way that the king united the Danish tribes. Human DNA is about 99.9% similar across all people, and only 0.1% differences are what make each individual unique. The Mozilla Firefox web browser got its name from the red panda, which in turn was named for its reddish color and resemblance to foxes. In Australia, there is a road called the Dingo Fence that stretches for over 3,480 miles, making it the longest fence in the world. Its purpose is to protect the country's inland livestock from wild dingoes. In Africa's Namib Desert, there are dunes that can reach heights of up to 300 meters, some of the highest in the world. The okapi, native to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, is the giraffe's closest living relative, even though it looks more like a zebra due to its stripes on its legs. In Iceland, there is a dating app called Íslendinga app that helps Icelanders avoid incestuous relationships by checking if they share distant ancestors. The bulldog ant has the strongest jaws of any animal relative to its size and can generate forces equivalent to more than 500 times its body weight. Newborn pandas are so small, they are lighter than a teacup. The bottlenose dolphin has the ability to sleep with one brain hemisphere at a time, allowing it to stay alert and breathe while resting. The Arc de Triomphe in Paris, built in 1836, honors those who fought and died for France during the Napoleonic Wars. The mimic octopus, a species of octopus, is known for its ability to mimic the appearance and behavior of other marine animals, such as sea snakes and flatfish, to protect itself from predators. The leech's saliva contains an anticoagulant substance that prevents the blood of their victims from clotting while they feed. The Tower of Pisa began to lean shortly after construction began in 1173 due to an unstable foundation on clay soil. The brown bat is known to be the longest-lived mammal in proportion to its size, living up to 41 years. The hen harrier, a bird of prey, is known for its ability to fly long migratory distances from the Arctic to southern South America. Switzerland is known for its political neutrality and has not been involved in any international military conflict since 1815. The Chinese Tiangong space station, launched in 2021, aims to establish a permanent space base for scientific experiments and Earth observations. Turkey is home to the Derinkuyu Cave, the world's largest underground city, which could house up to 20,000 people along with their livestock and supplies. India is the country with the most films produced in the world. Bollywood, the Indian film industry, produces more than 1,000 films a year. The dugong, a sea cow-like animal, is a herbivorous marine mammal found in tropical waters, feeding primarily on seagrass and can weigh up to 400 kilograms. The tuatara is a reptile endemic to New Zealand that is considered a living fossil, as it has changed very little from millions of years ago. It has a third eye on the top of its head that detects changes in light. The red-billed gull is a species of gull that has a bright red beak that helps them recognize each other during breeding season. The observable universe is approximately 93 billion light-years across. Ants do not have lungs. Instead, they breathe through small holes in their bodies called spiracles. The Great Fire of London in 1666 destroyed most of the city, but it also helped stop the spread of the bubonic plague that was ravaging the city at the time. The Battle of Stalingrad during World War II was the bloodiest in history, with more than 2 million dead and wounded. The asteroid that struck Earth approximately 66 million years ago in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, caused the extinction of non-avian dinosaurs. The Android operating system, initially developed by Android Inc., was acquired by Google in 2005 before its public release in 2008. In some European countries, such as Spain, the San Fermin festival is celebrated in Pamplona, known for bull runs. Wolves howl to communicate with other pack members and mark their territory. The Charleston rhythm is a jazz dance that originated in Charleston, South Carolina in the 1920s and was popularized in the United States during the Jazz Age. The world's most active volcano is Kilauea in Hawaii, which has been erupting almost continuously since 1983. The largest city in the world in terms of area is Ulaanbaatar, located in China. It covers an area of approximately 263.953 million square meters, which is larger than many countries. Originally from Guangdong province in China, dim sum is a food served in small portions and traditionally accompanied by tea. The sun accounts for approximately 99.86% of the entire mass of the solar system. The chameleon can move its eyes independently, allowing it to have a 360-degree field of vision around its body. Sharks are immune to diseases such as cancer. In China, the Spring Festival is the most important holiday of the year, marking the start of the new lunar year, according to the Chinese calendar. The Oktoberfest in Munich, Germany, is the largest beer festival in the world, celebrated since 1810. In our solar system, the smallest planet is Mercury, which is about the size of the moon. The axolotl, a species of Mexican salamander, has the ability to regenerate parts of its body, including limbs, organs, and even parts of the brain. In Singapore, there is Jewel Changi Airport, which features the world's tallest indoor waterfall, surrounded by a garden of 5,000 species of plants and trees. The Lantern Festival in Taiwan is a traditional celebration where thousands of paper lanterns are released into the air to wish for good luck and celebrate the Chinese Lunar New Year. Tardigrades, also known as water bears, are extremely resilient microscopic creatures that can survive extreme conditions of temperature, pressure, and radiation. In Turkey, there is a structure known as the Cotton Castle, a series of white terraces and travertines filled with natural thermal pools. Extrasolar planets, or exoplanets, are planets that orbit stars outside our solar system. Death Valley in California, USA is one of the hottest places on the planet, with temperatures that can reach 56 degrees Celsius in summer. The emperor penguin is the tallest bird in the world, reaching up to 1.2 meters. On the Japanese island of Okinawa, there is a high proportion of centenarians compared to the rest of the world. This has been attributed to their healthy diet, active lifestyle, and strong community ties. Giant wave surfing has records of waves exceeding 24 meters in height. These huge waves are challenged by surfers at places such as Nazaré in Portugal and Jaws in Hawaii. Canada's national sport is ice hockey. The country is famous for its passion and success in this sport, both at professional and amateur levels. The Taj Mahal, one of the most famous monuments in the world, was built by Emperor Shah Jahan in memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal, who died during childbirth of their 14th child. The Devil's Bridge in France is a Roman bridge built over the Tarn River in southern France, known for its stone arch that seems to defy gravity. Chocolate was so highly valued in Mesoamerican cultures that the Aztecs used cocoa beans as currency. Lightning can strike the same location more than once. Places like the Empire State Building in New York can be hit multiple times during a storm. The world's tallest volcano is Ojos del Salado on the border between Chile and Argentina, with a height of approximately 6,893 meters above sea level. In the Maori culture of New Zealand, hongi is a greeting tradition in which two people press their foreheads and noses together. The first email message was sent by Ray Tomlinson in 1971. It consisted of the letters QWERTYUIOP. The bullfrog, native to the southeastern United States, is the largest frog species in North America, reaching lengths of up to 25 centimeters. The saguaro cactus, native to the Sonoran Desert in North America, can live up to 200 years and reach heights of up to 15 meters. Mount Everest, the world's tallest mountain, was first summited by Sir Edmund Hillary in Tenzing Norgay in 1953. The Moscow Kremlin in Russia is a fortified complex that includes palaces, cathedrals, and towers, and has been the political and historical center of Russia for centuries, where Vladimir Putin lives. The first book printed in the West using movable type was the Gutenberg Bible, printed by Johannes Gutenberg in 1455. The Mona Lisa has no visible eyebrows or eyelashes, which has led to speculation as to whether they were lost or deliberately omitted by Leonardo da Vinci. The International Space Station travels at a speed of about 17,400 miles per hour, completing one orbit around the Earth every 90 minutes. The chance of a person being struck by lightning at some point in their life is about 1 in 3,000. In Norway, there is a tradition called utepils, which means beer garden, and refers to the first beer one enjoys outdoors in the spring or summer. The first functional web search engine was called Archie and was created in 1990 by Alan Mtaj, a graduate student at McGill University in Montreal. The ancient board game Senet, played in ancient Egypt, is one of the oldest known board games, with boards and pieces dating back more than 5,000 years. In Hawaii, hula is a traditional dance that combines rhythmic gestures with chants and music to tell stories and preserve Hawaiian culture. The African elephant is the largest land animal in the world, reaching heights of up to 4 meters and weighing up to 7 tons. In Japan, there are themed cafes where you can interact with owls, cats, rabbits, and even hedgehogs while enjoying your drink. Chess is the sport played in the most countries around the world. The Coober Pedy region in Australia is known as the Underground City, where much of the population lives in underground caves due to the intense desert heat. The San Juan fire dance in Spain is a traditional celebration, marking the summer solstice with bonfires, music, and dancing in many Spanish communities. Dogs have a sense of smell at least 10,000 times more acute than that of humans. Birds of the genus Apus, such as the common swift, can sleep in flight. Their wings can be locked into position, and they can rest for hours while flying. South Africa is the only country in the world to have 3 capitals. Pretoria is the administrative capital, Cape Town is the legislative capital, and Bloemfontein is the judicial capital. In Scotland, the bagpipe is the traditional musical instrument and is used in many cultural and ceremonial celebrations. France is the most visited country in the world, with more than 89 million international tourists each year. Australia has an estimated kangaroo population of more than 50 million, exceeding the country's human population. The vampire squid is a deep-sea squid that has unique features such as cape-like fins and tentacles with membranes that look like a vampire cape. The Port of Singapore is one of the busiest and most efficient ports in the world, handling millions of containers each year. It is also known for its effective maritime traffic control system. The northernmost city in the world is Longyearbyen on the island of Spitsbergen, Norway, located about 1,300 kilometers from the North Pole. In the city of Breda, Netherlands, the Carnival of Princes is held annually, where children take over the city for 3 days. In Finland, there is a sport called the wife carrying race, where men compete by carrying their wives through an obstacle. The first successful vaccine in history was developed by Edward Jenner in 1796 for smallpox, using material from cowpox to immunize people. The Pacific island of Nauru was once the richest nation per capita in the world due to its vast phosphate reserves, but it now faces economic challenges following the dwindling of these resources. The dragon dance, an integral part of Chinese New Year celebrations, involves a group of people wielding a cloth dragon and making it dance through the streets to ward off evil and bring good luck. The musculature of octopuses is so complex that they can individually control each of their multiple arms. The Temple of Heaven in Beijing, China, was built using advanced engineering techniques that allow for perfect acoustics within the main structure, allowing a person to speak quietly at one point and be heard clearly at another opposite point. Stonehenge in England is a prehistoric monument made up of huge stones arranged in a circle. Leafcutter ant colonies are able to cut and carry leaves back to their nests to grow mushrooms as a food source. The largest plant in the world in terms of area covered is the pando, an aspen forest in Utah, USA, which, although it appears to be a forest of individual trees, is actually a single clonal organism connected by underground roots. The chameleon does not change color to blend in with its surroundings, but does so in response to emotions such as fear, anger, or attraction. Elephants are the only mammals that cannot jump due to the structure of their legs and the distribution of their weight. The storage capacity of an average smartphone today is greater than that of the supercomputers used on the Apollo 11 mission that took man to the moon. In 2006, Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet by the International Astronomical Union due to its size and orbit. Located on the border between Argentina and Brazil, Iguazu Falls is wider than Niagara Falls and is considered one of the most impressive waterfalls in the world due to its beauty and size. The Atacama Desert in Chile is considered the driest non-polar desert in the world. Some parts of this desert have not received rain in over 400 years. Giraffes have tongues up to 50 centimeters long and are black in color to avoid sunburn while feeding on tree leaves. Neurons in the human brain can send signals at speeds of up to 120 meters per second. In Japan, it is customary to take a relaxing bath in natural hot springs called onsen. Easter Island in Chile is famous for its huge stone statues called moai. Solar eclipses are events in which the moon totally or partially blocks the light of the sun from the Earth. Penicillin, the first antibiotic discovered, was found by chance by Alexander Fleming in 1928. The moon has visible craters on its surface due to asteroid and comet impacts over millions of years. Crocodiles can live up to 100 years in the wild. The bombardier beetle has the unique ability to squirt a hot, toxic liquid from its abdomen when it feels threatened. The first texting-capable mobile phone was released in 1993 by IBM and was called the Simon Personal Communicator. Kangaroos cannot jump backwards due to the structure of their legs and the way they swing. Polar bears are left-handed, meaning they prefer to use their left paw to catch prey. Owls can turn their heads up to 270 degrees due to their unique bone structure and the number of vertebrae in their necks. A snail's heart is located just behind its head and can beat up to 1,000 times per minute. The venom of the box jellyfish is one of the most poisonous in the world and can be fatal to humans. Human saliva has antibacterial properties that help protect teeth from infection. The Amazon rainforest is the largest tropical rainforest in the world, covering an area of approximately 6.7 million square kilometers. The Sistine Chapel in the Vatican, painted by Michelangelo, is famous for its frescoed ceiling depicting scenes from Genesis and the Last Judgment. Bamboo can grow up to 91 centimeters in a single day. The Statue of Liberty was a gift from France to the United States. Pablo Picasso's Guernica is a powerful depiction of the horrors of the Spanish Civil War and is considered one of the masterpieces of 20th century art. The nearest star to the solar system is Proxima Centauri, which is approximately 4.24 light-years away. Giraffes have the largest heart of any land mammal, weighing around 11 kilograms. Torres del Paine National Park, located in Chilean Patagonia, is known for its spectacular granite peaks, glaciers, and deep blue lakes. The Voyager 1 probe, launched in 1977, remains the farthest spacecraft from Earth and continues to transmit data from interstellar space. The military salute in most Western cultures originated as a sign of peace, showing that they were not holding weapons. In Japanese culture, the number 4 is considered unlucky because its pronunciation, shai, is similar to the word for death. The Icelandic language has changed very little since the Viking era, so Icelanders can read ancient texts with relative ease. The island of Tokelau in the South Pacific is one of the few territories in the world that does not have its own currency and uses exclusively the New Zealand dollar as its official currency. Sunflower plants follow the path of the sun during the day. The Patagonian larch can live for more than 3,000 years, making it one of the longest-lived trees in the world. Yellowstone National Park in the United States is the world's first national park, having been established in 1872. On average, a person walks about 185,000 kilometers in their lifetime, which is equivalent to walking around the Earth around the equator about 5 times. The Korean alphabet, called Hangul, was created by King Sejong in the 15th century as part of an effort to increase literacy. Honey does not spoil, as jars of honey have been found in Egyptian tombs that were still edible after thousands of years. Dragonflies spend up to 5 years in the larval stage before becoming adults. Humans grow a completely new layer of skin every 28 days. The first commercial jet flight occurred in 1952 with the British de Havilland Comet passenger plane. St. Patrick's Day, celebrated on March the 17th, is an Irish holiday that commemorates St. Patrick. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, with parades and green clothing. Tooth enamel is the hardest substance in the human body. In Iceland, about 80% of the energy used comes from geothermal sources due to volcanic activity on the island. The deepest part of the ocean is the Mariana Trench, with a depth of almost 11,000 meters. The Titanic had a library with more than 1,000 books for first-class passengers. Antarctica is the driest, coldest, and windiest continent on Earth. The shortest language in the world is Rotokas, spoken in Papua New Guinea, with only 11 letters in its alphabet. Quasars are active galactic nuclei that emit enormous amounts of energy and are the brightest and most distant objects in the observable universe. Neptune has atmospheric winds that can reach speeds of up to 1,305 miles per hour, the fastest in the solar system. Halley's Comet, one of the most famous comets, visits the inner solar system about every 76 years. In New Zealand, kiwis, both the bird and the New Zealanders who call them that, are known for being named after the country's native bird rather than the fruit. Italy has the most UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the world, with a total of 58 sites. Gravity on the surface of Jupiter is about 2.5 times stronger than gravity on the surface of Earth. The Canada-US border is the longest border without military patrols. The first electric light bulb lasted 40 hours before burning out, invented by Thomas Edison in 1879. In Japan, vending machines sell an incredible variety of goods, from food to used underwear. The Republic of Venice existed as an economic and political power for over 1,000 years, from the 8th century to 1797. In many Asian countries, such as Japan and South Korea, it is common to take off your shoes when entering a home as a sign of respect and cleanliness. The city of Venice, Italy, is built on an archipelago of 118 small islands connected by more than 400 bridges. Sushi, as we know it today, originated in Japan as a way to preserve fish with fermented rice. The Amazon River is the world's largest river in terms of water volume. The temperature inside a lightning storm can reach 3,000 degrees Celsius, 6 times hotter than the surface of the sun. The Tyrannosaurus rex was not the largest dinosaur, as that was the Argentinosaurus, which was around 35 meters long and weighed up to 100 tons. The Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, is one of the new 7 wonders of the modern world. The sun releases more energy in 1 second than humanity has consumed in its entire history. Cockroaches can live up to a week without their head because they do not need their mouth to breathe and obtain oxygen through small holes in their body. The world's first commercial computer was the UNIVAC Wing, created in 1951. The Titanic cost about $7.5 million to build at the time. The island of Iceland has over 130 active volcanoes due to its location on the tectonic plate boundary. In Thailand and Laos, festivals are held where rockets are launched into the air during planting season to attract rain and ensure a good harvest. The human body has about 37.2 trillion cells, but it has 38 trillion bacteria. The Sahara Desert in Africa is the largest hot desert in the world and is almost as big as the United States. Jupiter's moon Europa has a subsurface ocean beneath its ice shell, making it one of the potentially habitable places within our solar system. The Bermuda Triangle between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico is famous for the unexplained disappearance of ships and planes. Groundhog Day in the United States has its roots in the belief that if a groundhog sees its shadow on February 2nd, there will be 6 more weeks of winter. The temperature on Mercury's surface can range from negative 173 degrees Celsius at night to 427 degrees Celsius during the day. In ancient China, noble women painted their teeth black as a sign of beauty and status. Human kidneys filter about 180 liters of blood a day to produce about 1 or 2 liters of urine. The Hungarian language is known to be one of the most difficult languages to learn due to its complex grammar and because it belongs to a unique language family, unrelated to any other in Europe. Lake Baikal in Russia is the oldest lake in the world at 26 million years old, with a maximum depth of about 1.642 meters. Giraffes have only 7 vertebrae in their necks, just like humans, but each one is much longer. The Panama Canal is one of the largest engineering feats in history and connects the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific, saving ships a long journey around South America. The northern lights occur when charged particles from the solar wind collide with gases in the atmosphere, creating spectacular lights in the sky. In Namibia, there is an area known as the Skeleton Desert, where the remains of whales and other marine animals have been fossilized due to the sand and dry climate. The star Betelgeuse is a red supergiant that is in the final stages of its life and will eventually explode as a supernova. Noah's Ark, according to the Bible, was approximately 137 meters long, 23 meters wide, and 14 meters high, Surprisingly large, right? In 1519, Ferdinand Magellan led the first known expedition to circumnavigate the globe. Although Magellan died during the voyage, the expedition completed the circumnavigation of the globe under the command of Juan Sebastian Elcano in 1522. NASA's Cassini space probe discovered water geysers on Saturn's moon Enceladus, suggesting the possibility of a subsurface ocean. Leafcutter ants can clear more than 500 kilograms of leaves per year in their colonies. The Amazon River is so wide at some points that it is impossible to see the other side from the water. The Grand Canyon in Arizona, United States, is more than 1,800 meters deep in some places. The Antikythera machine was discovered in a shipwreck near the island of Antikythera in Greece. The famous basketball player and great three-point shooter Stephen Curry is a passionate golfer and regularly participates in charity golf tournaments. He has shared the course with great figures in the sport and has mentioned that if he were not a basketball player, he would love to be a professional golfer. Steve Jobs bought Pixar from Lucasfilm for $10 million in 1986 before it became the animation giant we all know today. He eventually sold Pixar to Disney for $7.4 million in stock, making Jobs the largest individual shareholder in Disney. Full flight simulators used by airlines to train their pilots replicate every detail of aircraft, including movements, controls, and real-time data. They can cost between $10 and $20 million each. The university in the world was the University of Al-Qarawiyyin in Fez, Morocco, which was founded in 859 by Fatima al-Fihri. It is recognized by UNESCO and the Guinness Book of Records as the oldest continuously operating university in the world. The purpose of the Amazon arrow is not only to represent a smile, but also by joining the letters A and Z. The company refers to the infinite number of products they have and can sell. Luis Aragonés is the coach with the most games. No one has managed to surpass Luis Aragonés, the Spanish coach who managed 757 games in the first division, most of them at Atletico de Madrid, which were 407 games. One of the saddest disasters in racing was the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1955. The takeoff of Pierre Leveg's Mercedes 300 SLR on the main straight of Les Sarthes caused the death of 84 people, including the French driver, and around 120 injured. His car became a fireball in the stands. The tragedy meant that Mercedes gave up racing for more than 3 decades. Mayweather founded his own strip club. The American boxer has so much money that he even owns a strip club in Las Vegas. In fact, that was where he went to celebrate after the fight against Conor McGregor. The archer fish has an almost science fiction-like ability to shoot jets of water from its mouth to shoot down insects and other prey from above the water surface. It can shoot with great precision from several meters away. The Lacoste brand was founded in 1933 by tennis player René Lacoste, who was known by the nickname Crocodile. The logo design comes precisely from there, as he was called Crocodile because he once received a product made of crocodile skin. The longest time someone has held their breath underwater is more than 24.5 minutes. The world record for holding their breath underwater was achieved by Croatian Budimir Šobat on March 27, 2021, who held his breath for a total of 24 minutes and 37 seconds. A leaky faucet wastes more than 75 liters of water per day. A 5-minute shower uses between 95 and 190 liters of water. Every flush of the toilet uses between 7.5 and 26.5 liters of water, and washing our hands uses 3 liters. Edinburgh has more listed buildings than any other city in the world. Listed buildings are those that cannot be destroyed or altered because of their cultural significance. Well, Edinburgh has plenty of them, including the ornate beauty of Holyrood Palace, the Walter Scott Monument, and, most famously, Edinburgh Castle, which towers over the city from the top of the Royal Mile. More than 1 billion bottles of Scotch whiskey are sold each year. Whiskey is a popular drink at weddings and birthdays around the world. Many of the best Scotch whiskeys are aged between 12 and 21 years. Scotch whiskey is the nation's most exported product, accounting for around 10% of Scottish sales abroad. The world's largest pyramid is not in Egypt, but in Mexico. The Great Pyramid of Cholula measures 450 meters by 450 meters and rises 55 meters above the plain, where construction began around 300 BC. 65% of the motorway sections in Germany have no speed limit. Normally, the recommended speed is 81 miles per hour unless otherwise indicated, so it is common to see cars speeding on the road. The Philippine flag is the only one in the world that indicates whether the country is at war. When a war breaks out, the colors of the upper and lower stripes are reversed, with the upper stripe becoming red and the lower stripe becoming blue. In Thailand, it is illegal to step on banknotes or coins because they bear the image of the king. It is a crime to disrespect the king or his family, which is punishable by 3 to 15 years in prison. Be careful if you drop a banknote on the ground. The world-famous Statue of Liberty has 7 rays on its crown, representing the 7 continents. In Asia, due to high fertility rates and the increasing number of women of reproductive age, the continent is expected to have almost 2 billion babies in the next 35 years. This will double the size of the population, and its population under 18 will increase by 2/3 to almost 1 billion children. The Tonle Sap in Cambodia is one of only 2 rivers in the world that changes direction throughout the year. In the wet season, it flows from the Mekong to the north. In the dry season, it flows from the Tonle Sap Lake to the Mekong River. This is due to the abundance of rain in the wet season. This is probably one of the least surprising curiosities about the United States. 2/3 of Americans are overweight and half of them are obese. The oldest bar in the entire American continent is in the United States and was built in 1668 in New York, in a small town called Tappan. It is called the Old 76 House. The cheetah is the fastest animal in the world on land. An adult cheetah can reach a speed of between 74 miles per hour. They can only purr and cannot roar like lions and tigers. Canada has more lakes than the total lakes in the rest of the world. There are about 3 million lakes in the country. Another interesting fact is that Canada is home to 20% of the world's freshwater reserves. Dutch men are the tallest in the world. Men have an average height of 5.97 feet. Women are second, with a height of 5.54. Studies show that this is not only due to Dutch DNA, but also to external factors such as low inequality, good health care, and a diet with a high consumption of dairy products. The famous logo of the Columbia Pictures brand was illustrated under the image of an American housewife named Johnny Joseph in 1992. We have all been able to imagine that the image was chosen from a model, but we were wrong. The Maldives is the smallest country in the Asian continent, an archipelago of 1,200 islands, of which only 200 are inhabited. It has an area of 298 square kilometers and a population of 540,542 inhabitants. The Kit Kat logo has been practically the same since 1935, except for a brief period during World War II. At that time, the iconic red changed to blue to indicate that it was milk-free chocolate due to shortages. In many Asian countries, insects are considered a delicacy. In China, it is customary to eat scorpions, centipedes, silkworms, spiders, grasshoppers. Hongo Gumi Construction Company, founded in Japan in 578, is the oldest construction company in the world, with a history of over 1,400 years. In 2006, the company was acquired by Takamatsu Corporation, allowing its legacy to continue while being integrated into a larger corporation. This historic construction company in Japan is dedicated to the construction of Buddhist temples and built Japan's first Buddhist temple, the Shitanoji Temple. Aconcagua, located in the Andes mountain range in Argentina, is the highest mountain outside the Himalayas, with an imposing height of 22,831 feet above sea level. Hafthor Julius Björnsson, known for playing the Mountain in the television series Game of Thrones, is one of the strongest men in the world. Originally from Iceland, Björnsson has excelled in the field of weightlifting, earning the title of World's Strongest Man in 2018. The Japanese macaque is notable for its ability to adapt to various environments, including the cold winters of Japan thanks to its fur. In addition, its tail, although relatively short, is extremely flexible and can move independently of the rest of the body, giving it a unique ability to manipulate objects and feed itself deftly. The island of Hart Reef, located in the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, is naturally heart-shaped and is a popular destination for nature and romance lovers. The 100 trillion Zimbabwean dollar banknote issued in 2008 during the period of hyperinflation in Zimbabwe boasts the highest face value of any banknote ever issued. This banknote was issued in a context of an extreme economic crisis where inflation reached 11,200,000% annually, something like prices increasing more than 1,200% per hour. Famous singers Rihanna and Drake had an on and off relationship over the years, which included both friendship and romance. Although they never officially confirmed a courtship, their chemistry in musical collaborations and in real life was evident. Russian peasant Fyodor Vasiliev's wife, Valentina Vasiliev, holds the record for the most children, with a total of 69 children, born between 1725 and 1765. This astonishing record includes 16 pairs of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets. Elliday Island, located in the Vestman Islands south of Iceland, is a place renowned for its single solitary house. The house, built by a hunters association in the 1950s, was designed to serve as an observation point and cabin during hunting expeditions. The fact that the island is uninhabited and difficult to access contributes to its enigmatic charm. The oldest known coin is the Lydian coin, made from a gold and silver alloy called electrum, and dates back to around 600 BC. These early coins originated in the ancient kingdom of Lydia, located in what is now Turkey, and were used to facilitate trade. They typically feature an image of a lion, often with a sun or star, symbolizing power and royalty. Cardo Abad, a Spanish athlete, holds the impressive record for the most consecutive marathons run, with a total of 607 marathons in 607 days. This monumental achievement was reached between February 28, 2010 and April 27, 2011, by maintaining a routine of daily marathons for over 20 months. Each marathon, with a distance of 42,195 kilometers, required intensive physical and mental preparation. Red Bull was created in 1987 by Dietrich Mateschitz in Austria, inspired by a Thai energy drink called Kratin Ding. Mateschitz adapted the formula and launched it in Europe, where it became a global success. The Spotted Lagoon in Canada is an impressive natural phenomenon where during the summer, the saline lake partially dries up, revealing a series of small pools of various colors that result from the high concentration of minerals such as magnesium sulfate, calcium, and sodium. This spectacle of vibrant colors creates a spotty pattern that looks like a natural mosaic on the dry landscape. It is a sacred place for the local Okanagan tribes,